pretend to understand God's plan or timing, but when I was given the new name, or really identity, Makarios, it was nice, but I didn't feel like I could live up to its full potential. Same with the verse. I knew I had been through a lot, and you could say that yes, that tested my faith. But I've always gone to church, so I committed the verse to memory, tattooed it on my body, and claimed it. In January of 2025, I prayed the big one. I told God that I was going to trust Him with my kids, my health, Ron's health, and I took a leap of faith and I prayed for a home to call my own, where I never have to worry that I'll be asked to leave or the rent will be raised too high. After all, He had never let me down. Why would He start then? 2025 was a hard year. I had officially lost both of my jobs. My photography was getting harder and harder to do. And my depression was so bad that I cried all the time. And my favorite thing to say was, "I'm just so tired." Somewhere in the middle of 2025, something changed. I had had enough, and I hunted down my original doctor who had left the practice before I was approved for disability. And I asked if she would take me back on. Her schedule was full, but she agreed to take me as a patient. She was so amazing and got right back into helping me. I also got my therapist back, work on decreasing my medications, see if I can take less of them if possible. I got into acupuncture, and I was set to see a chiropractor for a consultation. Then Ron destroyed his knee, and I had to let that all go. The only thing I kept was my therapist, which was the right choice. When he gets back to work, I will go back to acupuncture, since it really helped me with my sleep. I also want to try a few new things. I continued living on my bed for the rest of the year. It got so bad that I never wanted to leave my house. The thought of leaving the house just brought such anxiety and a literal feeling of a fist in my chest. I thought I was never going to be normal or feel better. Then I had a conversation with my mom that changed everything. In one sentence, she healed decades of hurt that she didn't even know I was holding. I felt the cement fly off my chest, and then there was space. That is the moment where this idea came to me. I had tried in 2024 making a sourdough starter, and it failed spectacularly. Why not try again and use that to process all of my baggage? I began preparing in December to kickstart the proofing project. I was determined to change and heal and feel like a person again. The most I did was go to doctors and occasionally to Diana's to forget my life was happening. Then in December, my mom offered us a part of her property to move a home onto where we can live and no one can ever take our home away. It would be the stability that I have always sought. January 1st, after I got all my ducks in a row, I began. I was nervous and excited all at the same time. I felt different physically, so I knew that if I put the work in, it would happen. Maybe I could do this. It was a slow start. It took months to get the starter to where I could actually bake. Our water is not conducive to sourdough, so there was a lot of trial and error, and Greg knocked her off the counter, and it was a huge undertaking. However, all of that gave me time to process. Every day I recorded feeding Clara and used those videos to journal. I posted them as accountability. I worked with my therapist and continued to see my doctors. So much has changed. How I see the world has changed. How I see myself has changed. How I feel and respond to situations has changed. I am changed. So where am I now? Ron is still out of work and things are tightening around us. He's been on continuous leave for various kinds pretty much since 2021 between me and the kids and him. This has finally come to a gray area where we had a gap of 3 days in our coverage for our insurance before it would be protected by PFML. We asked, but they said they could not extend coverage those 3 days, so we would lose it. Because of those 3 days, we may have to shell out at least $450 a month, anywhere from 1 month until the fall when he goes back to work. Gray area. No one really knows how to navigate this, so it's a ton of work for him. Which I guess good thing he has the time because he's recovering. Aiden has a biopsy coming up in July to see if the nodule in his lung is just inflammation or recurrence. It showed up 3 years ago and it has doubled in size. Typically, that would suggest recurrence, but because he's had so much surgery, they can't rule out it just being inflammation. So the biopsy will tell us definitively if it's cancerous or not. And here is where the changes really begin to show. Things are still a mess. Our daughter still struggles with depression. Aiden could have recurrence. Ron might not get back to work until the fall. Money is beyond tight and my prednisone has ended. And I am definitely noticing a difference in my ability to move and communicate. But I'm not concerned about any of it. I'm just going to trust and keep putting one foot in front of the other. God hasn't let me down yet, and He has no reason to start now.